all of a sudden you look around, they got some gifted guys out there. I don't know if it's going to click, but they got some gifted guys out there.
No doubt about it. Definitely got some gifted guys out there. Going to be an interesting game with some of the stuff that we just updated you on. And as John pointed out, that defense has gotten better. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how they match up. Remember, this offense, John, is ranked down there too. So it's like, which one wins the battle tonight? The shitty Cowboys defense or what right now on paper and
well, here's a question.
Is the crappy Eagles offense.
I'll throw a question at you. Moving forward, who do you have more confidence in, the Cowboys defense or the Eagles offense?
Let's move into the update, John, from yesterday. Yesterday, you were down at NovaCare. The Wednesday in the week is always a big day in the week as you get ready for a Sunday game. Jalen Hurts spoke. Nick Sirianni spoke. And then you got the first look at the injury reports for the week. Jurgens and Lane Johnson listed, John, as DNPs, did not practice yesterday. And then a couple other limited guys. We'll get into the Cowboys report as well. I did look at it. I'm not sure if you saw that. John, your thoughts yesterday on the injury report and just where we are, just the update on the team as we get ready for the Sunday game.
Yeah, well, they're going to be likely without, 40% of their offensive line. So that's always a concern. I mean, I expect the Eagles to put Lane Johnson on injured reserve before the game because if he is going to be back in 4 to 6 weeks, you want this to be game number one on that sort of list. So I think that's coming, and concussion protocol is just more difficult to get through in 1 week. So perceptions is it'll be Brett Toth at center, and he's played well in the opportunities, surprisingly well and very well. So I don't know if that'll be a typical downgrade because Cam hasn't been playing up to the level that he typically does because of the back, because of the knee, now the concussion. And, Jalen Phillips is on there as limited with a shoulder, something to keep an eye on with his injury history, but he's been tremendous. So no indication he was in the locker. He's going to play. So, he's just dealing with something. And then they started the practice window of Miles Hinton because Lane's is not going to be here for a while. So you need backup tackles. And Miles gets the nod over Cam Williams as the rookie tackle. So you need that body. So I expect him to be put on the 53 by game time.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see Cam Jurgens. So is your feeling then that Cam will not play in this game?
No, I don't think he's going to play. Well, if he's not there today, which is practice is about 2:15, and he's definitely not going to play. Small chance. Some guys get through it in a week, the protocol, but the percentages now are really slim that you're going to get through it that quickly.
Yeah. So let's say, so John, going into the Cowboy game, you have no Lane Johnson, potentially no Cam Jurgens. That's a tough thing to overcome. And I know the offense hasn't been necessarily the reason we're winning games right now. But still, when you're trying to get an offense going, when you're trying to get a run game going, losing those two guys is definitely something to keep an eye on. It's definitely going to increase the challenge that we have Sunday. And by the way, I said it at the open of the show. I think Eagles fans are asleep on this game, John. I mean, they're all talking, oh, the Cowboys suck. It's going to be an easy. It's a bye week for the Eagles. I'm like, you're playing in Dallas versus a great offense. As you've talked about, John, we've had 2 great weekends of defense, 2 great weeks of defense, but how much was that aided by the weather? So maybe we got to see that defense a little bit more to know, truly where they stand at this point in the year. I wouldn't go to sleep on this game with those 2 guys out. Could change some things. We'll see how that shakes out. John, moving over to the Cowboys real quick, just to give the update for everybody. They're actually pretty healthy right now, John. They got DeMarvion Overshown back last week. They had a bunch of players limited yesterday. The 2 most notable players that were limited were Dak Prescott and Tyler Smith. Schottenheimer did speak and say Dak is going to be good to go. It's a minor hip thing. He got hit in the Monday night game. And then Perrion Winfrey returned as well. So, and he looks like he was a full participant. It was estimated yesterday because they had the Monday game. But they look actually pretty healthy, the Dallas Cowboys coming in, John. It might be one of those weeks that maybe we don't win the injury battle this week.
Well, the Eagles are going to probably be without 2 players. That's still pretty healthy now. It's the same grouping, which is a little bit more difficult. But at this stage, week 12, that's still pretty healthy. And we'll see how the Cowboys. Obviously, it's that year where you're trying to manage that time of year when you try to manage people through the week and get them to the game. So obviously, Dak is going to play, but and they've gotten some guys back. Like Overshone is boy, he's gifted. Now I don't. He just got back, so I don't know.
First game back. For I mean, I think it was a year ago. He tore his ACL, MCL. He like destroyed.
Yeah, he tore like every ligament, so that's a really serious injury. So I still have to see if he's the same type of player, but and then just the additions. I mean, Quinnen Williams is a big time player, sort of like the Myles Garrett of defensive tackles, because he was on such a shitty team. I don't think people realize. So they got a big time player. Inside the team with Kenny Clark, who was in the Micah Parsons trade and is still a pretty good player. Not what he once was, but that's pretty good grouping. So they're getting better. Offensively, they have the top passing offense in the NFL. They're number 3 overall. I didn't realize till this week came up how good Javonte Williams has been in the running game.
He's been awesome.
So they have everything offensively. Good tight end. George Pickens is playing phenomenally.
Yeah, I did not. I mean, I knew George Pickens could play. I did not think he could be this guy.
Well, because in Pittsburgh, it was like they only let him run go routes and be a deep threat. Now and part of that silver lining, CD Lamb was hurt earlier in the season. They had to use him more like a well-rounded receiver, and he's delivered big time player. And really gifted. So offensively is not the issue. Defensively, they were near the bottom of the league. They still are, but they're getting better. They not only got Quinnen Williams, but they got Logan Wilson on the trade market, who's athletic. At linebacker, Overshone's back. Their safeties, had been injured. Malik Hooker's back. He's their best safety. Deron Bland's playing well at corner now after having some up and downs. Now he's a guy you can beat if you can with the Eagles passing game. He's gonna gamble, and he's that type of corner. But they're getting better. So people are going to look at them on paper and say 31st ranked defense, but they had the potential.
Yeah, they definitely got better
to be like at least middle of the road with adding Williams and Wilson and getting Hooker back. And
that Rebel kid, that cornerback.
They got Rebel back. Yeah. I mean, well, he's a rookie, but
I know, but he played well. And when they were, I mean, even I think it's even helped some of the other corners out there because Bland has come alive a little bit as well.
Yeah. Well, he's a guy who would have been a first round pick if he wasn't injured.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's similar to Overshone, who's, yes, they're back, but Overshone played like 30 reps and Rebel played like 19 reps. So, I mean, you have to see what they really are beyond just getting on the field. But talent-wise, yeah, those two guys make them a lot better as well. All of a sudden, you look at they got a bunch of gifted guys on the field defensively, and people should be more wary of that. Because one thing you can make fun of, I always say, you can make fun of Jerry Jones all you want, and that's who I should have tried to get. I should have tried to get our buddy John Machota. I was trying to get an Eagles guy yesterday, but
we had Machota for week 1.
Yeah,
I wonder if he can join us tomorrow. He'd be great.
Yeah, I'll check in. Obviously the game's down there, so he doesn't have to travel or anything. Yeah. But so we'll try to effort. We're gonna have Oscar Bujan on Voice of the Eagles in Espanol. So That's something to look forward to. But, all of a sudden you look around, they got some gifted guys out there. I don't know if it's going to click, but they got some gifted guys out there.
No doubt about it. Definitely got some gifted guys out there. Going to be an interesting game with some of the stuff that we just updated you on. And as John pointed out, that defense has gotten better. So it's going to be interesting to kind of see how they match up. Remember, this offense, John, is ranked down there too. So it's like, which one wins the battle tonight? The shitty Cowboys defense or what right now on paper and
well, here's a question.
Is the crappy Eagles offense.
I'll throw a question at you. Moving forward, who do you have more confidence in, the Cowboys defense or the Eagles offense? Getting better.
Getting better?
Yes.
I mean, it's hard to say the Cowboys defense, but I mean, if I was being fully 100% objective, I would
say Cowboys defense.
Yeah, I'd probably take the Cowboys defense too. I mean, this offense is what it is at this point, as you've told me like 100 times, and it maybe took me 110 to be able to believe it. But yeah, that's what they are. I mean, they're not a very good passing team. They haven't been for 27 games. And right now they can't run the ball well. Offensive line's banged up. Lane Johnson now. Cam Jurgens. Saquon Barkley's not running the same. It just sounds so hard to say, but being honest, yeah, I think the Cowboys defense would be.
Yeah, I mean, you got Williams, Addition, Wilson, Overshown, Rebel, Hooker. That's half your defense.
So how good do you think that Cowboy defense can be? Do you think they have a chance to make a late season push here and potentially get there? It feels far-fetched, but
no, I think they could get to the 7 seed. Still a lot of football to be played. Remember, those bottom teams tend to, and the Cowboys, while they have to play the Eagles, which is a difficult game, if they can get this game, I mean, I would say if they can get this game, they're definitely in it. If they lose, this is a big game for them, much bigger game for them. If they lose, they're in deep trouble. And I'm not talking about the NFC East. They're not going to win the NFC East.
No,
I'm talking about just making the playoffs. If they win this game, they're in pretty good shape because remember, the rest of their division stinks, and the NFC West, Rams beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks, the 49ers aren't about. They're playing each other. Somebody's got to lose. Same thing with the NFC North. When you look at those 3 teams right now, Detroit's not in the playoffs. Chicago's playing Detroit, Green Bay's playing yada yada. Somebody's got to lose. So they have the easier division with the Giants and the Commanders who have given up. I would say they have certainly a chance. Their season isn't over. And if they win this week, they're right in the mix.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Who do you think, John? Let me pull up this NFC standings for everybody so we can see kind of where we stand NFC wise. Let me pull this up for everybody to take a look at. And I want to hear from you, John, who you think, who here is a pretender and who here is a contender and who might fall off. Like if you look at the NFC, Eagles, Rams, Bears are winning the North right now, which is crazy. I don't know if anybody expected that. Yeah. Buccaneers are winning the South. Probably going to win the South, but we'll see. Seahawks, Packers, Niners. Do any of these teams you see taking a dip? The Lions are right on the outside looking in. The Panthers are right on the outside looking in. And then you have the Cowboys. I would say after the Cowboys I don't think any of these teams, Vikings, Cardinals, Falcons, Commanders, Saints, or Giants, none of those teams are opportunity to make it. And the Cowboys are probably 1 loss away or 2 losses away from them being completely out of the equation. Panthers, do you think they could elevate? Do you think the Packers, the Niners, the Seahawks could fall off? How do you see this NFC shaking out?
Well, I mean, contenders, very few. Actual contenders. To me, it's Eagles, Rams, maybe Seahawks, maybe Lions. If the Lions can figure things out, they got to make the playoffs first. Packers, boy, I think that Kraft injury hurt them.
Yeah, it did.
But I think the Laporta injury hurt the Lions. So I'm just looking at it. I mean, legitimate contenders. The group is shrinking. It might just be Eagles Rams right now. And Nick Sirianni seems to have Sean McVay's number for whatever reason. So take that for what it is. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe in the Bears. I'm honest. I think they're improving, but I don't think they're going to win that division. And if they do, they might make the playoffs, but they're sort of that team that jumps up for a couple reasons. One, they have a better coach. He's got their quarterback playing better, but they have the easier schedule. So they're going to be a little bit inflated.
Like, I kind of agree with you, and I liked the Bears coming into the season. It's not like me and you debated about Ryan Poles, believe it or not, in the offseason, but we did. Off-season talk.
Oh, well, he stinks. There's no change in that. But
I know. I knew you would say that. Not my point, though. But they're 7-3, so like they would have to lose a good portion of their games for even if they didn't win their division and the Cowboys wanted to get in. That's kind of what I'm trying to see here. They would have to lose a pretty significant portion of their final 7 games. Probably have to lose 4 or 5 of the final 7 in order to give Dallas a real chance, because I don't think Dallas is going to win out.
Well, no, they're not going to win out, but things change quickly. Like the Bear, I don't know who they're playing this week, but I know who they're playing next week, and that's the Philadelphia Eagles at Lincoln Financial Field.
Right. Who do this week?
So they don't have. They're Pittsburgh. So all right, now Pittsburgh's not great. Aaron Rodgers might not play, so that's a game they should win. But it's not like if they lose that game, bang, they're in trouble because they're at Philadelphia and at Green Bay.
Right. So they could drop 3 straight and go to 7-6, and now the thing looks way different.
Yeah. And now the Cowboys really have to win this game. This is key. They're in trouble if they don't win this game. So they're the desperate team and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, things change quickly in this league, and if you look at their schedule, I just pulled it up. This is the Bears. It's Pittsburgh at Philly at Green Bay. Cleveland should be an easy one. Green Bay again in Chicago, so that's tough.
Yeah,
at San Francisco, that's tough.
Yep.
And Detroit. So while I said easy schedule, they got their easy schedule early.
I think the Bears might fall here. That's a lot. That's a tough schedule. 2 Packers, 1 Lions, 1 Niners.
Well, that's the thing. There's one bad team in that division, Minnesota. They already played them. They lost once. They won. And by the way, they should have lost last week to a terrible Vikings team. Should have lost. A miracle kick return gets them in a position to kick a field goal at the end of the game. And and McCarthy played awful. Should have lost that game. Are they going to beat the Packers? Are they going to beat the 49ers, the Lions, the Eagles? They might, but they're going to have to earn it. And that's a team I think that's going to fall off.
Interesting. What do you make of the West with the Rams, the Seahawks over there? Niners are obviously interesting.
Well, the Rams sent a match. Now, again, the game's in Los Angeles. Now, Seattle's a really difficult place to play. They still have to go there. But they looked good last week. Sort of sent a message, and obviously Sam looked poor, so everybody's on the he choked bandwagon. Look, he struggles like all quarterbacks. This is amusing. I have to say this. He struggles with pressure. So did Jared Goff. Yeah. So did Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Like, I think it's elevated though when people don't like particular quarterbacks and they act surprised, like they don't handle pressure well. Like, to me, it's the dumbest conversation ever, because there's not a quarterback in the history of the NFL that handles pressure well. They may handle it a little bit better than other quarterbacks, but that's when they play their poorest, all of them. So it's kind of amusing. I have to point that out. But they have to figure something out because the Rams have a great pass rush. So sometimes styles make fights, and that's just strength of the Rams. So you got to figure it out to pass protect. To me, that's the whole goal of Seattle, or should be. because they have a good team. They have a good defense, good offense, but they have to figure out when they're playing the Rams, they got to figure out how to deal with that pass rush.
Yeah. Look at the Rams and the Seahawks point differential plus 100, plus 101. John, who do you think wins the South, man? Bucks, Panthers.
Boy, that's a good one. I mean, I do not like the Bucks.
You haven't since the beginning when they were rolling.
Yeah, I just don't like them. But they have more, and it's funny because I like the coach. I like the quarterback. I think he's overrated, but I think he's good. But they're too. And this is funny because sometimes I defend the Eagles, sometimes I don't. I don't like off-schedule teams offensively. I don't like it because you can't count on it.
Who's off schedule that I know?
That exactly. I don't like it because you can't count on it from week to week. That's why coaches don't like it. You don't practice off-schedule offense. And now the Eagles have a better history of getting through with it than Tampa, but that's a big part of Tampa's formula as well. Well, they play shitty, they play shitty, they play shitty, and Baker makes a couple plays and they win a game. Like, I don't like that formula, which pretty much sums up why I don't like Tampa. But, Carolina is still in that trying to learn how to win stage. I don't know. I haven't spent a lot of time. I should spend more time watching some Carolina games.
I watched a couple. Bryce Young's still alive a little bit, but I mean, to me, they feel a little early yet. They feel a little fool's gold.
Yeah, I don't know if the coach is, Bryce is getting better, and that's positive. But I mean, I can't look at that team and say, but somebody's got to win that division, and I think it'll be Tampa because they have more of the history of going through it. They understand how to get there, but to me, they're not relevant in the playoffs. I just don't.
Yeah,
I don't like the way they play.
Yeah, no doubt, no doubt about it. John, good stuff there. And real quick, I'll just scroll up, guys. The AFC this year is an interesting conference. Look at the top four teams: Broncos, Patriots, Colts, and Steelers. Right now, I mean, I don't think anybody would have expected that. Then you have the Bills, the Chargers, the Jags. The Chiefs are on the outside looking in. The Ravens are on the outside looking in. The Bengals are trash again. I mean, the NFL, John, for the first time, and maybe I should have seen this a long time ago. Boy, do I know what you mean when you say the product is getting worse. I mean, the NFL this year is just not that good. It's just not that good of a league this year.
No. And, I think when it starts like right now, if the playoffs started, Detroit's not in, Baltimore's not in, Kansas City's not in. Now, I think Baltimore's getting in because of their division. I think they'll catch the Steelers. Kansas City, I'm hoping. I'm hoping somebody keeps them down because I'm sick of them. But and then Detroit, I think will get in as well, but we'll see. I mean, I think that Laporta injury is big for them because he's their third down guy. But and I think Campbell made a mistake taking over play calling, but. So there's no guarantee, but I'm not, as I said, I'm not in love with the Bears, and the Packers aren't as good as I thought they would be. Yeah, there's holes in every team. I mean, the Eagles are the best team. The Eagles are the number one team on the betting markets to win the Super Bowl. So
are they right now the number one team?
Yeah, and most of them, certainly. I get like 3 emails a week, and they were number one in all of them. So
it's the Eagles team, man. We are a funny team. We are a funny team.
So, but that stuff changes quickly. They only send them once a week, and it's not like it's dramatic, but it's funny. Like teams like Baltimore are pretty high, because people lean on what they perceive things are. But I mean, the Eagles are winning games. They have an easy division. They can set things up. They can make sure everything goes through Philadelphia. And when that happens, they go to the Super Bowl, period. I mean, why not? Other than their offense is not pretty. But it wasn't pretty last year. Unless Saquon was hitting his head on the goalpost. And that's, and the same things happened last year with Kellen Moore. They tried at the beginning of the season. Let's evolve this thing. Let's get some motion involved. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then they scale it back. Happens every year. It's like Groundhog Day.
Yeah, it does. Everybody scratches their head, me included. All right, good stuff there, Johnny Mac. Good commentary on. You can see kind of how the conferences are laid out right now, guys. It's a little bit wide open. All right, but we will see what happens. And as John just said, I think that's the thing that makes me the most confident in the Eagles this year. That I just don't think the level of competition out there is all that good.
No, it isn't. Yeah, I mean, like the Rams are the one team everybody points to.
Yeah, man, they're good.
I'm like, they're good. They are good, and nobody loves Matthew Stafford. I was defending that guy long. Everybody, he was saying, he sucks because he lost so many games in Detroit. I'm like,
well, he's part of the reason that I think wins are not a freaking quarterback stat.
Well, he is. You're right, but the irony is, like, now everybody's like Matthew Stafford MVP and Matthew Stafford this and Matthew Stafford that. He's not nearly the player he once was. He's not nearly the player.
He's playing at a high level right now, dude. But I hear you. I mean, I know he's physically. He's
not. And that's where Sean deserves some credit. Sean does do a great job of scheming things. And, my point is he's not going to beat you by himself, which he could. And it's sad. If he played with this kind of supporting cast in Detroit early in his career, he'd have like 3 or 4. That's how good he was. Like, he's not that player now. I just find it so ironic that, the same thing happened. I always talk about Peyton Manning being the best regular season quarterback of all time. I've never seen consistency like it. Probably never will again. But, he didn't win Super Bowls. And then he won the Super Bowl at the end of his career to make it 2. And it was the worst season he ever had. Worst season he ever had.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It kind of, well, whatever. I won't go down that road. But, yeah, fair enough. The Rams are definitely a good team.